Hi, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be demonstrating a Scribble ink technique called the back and forth. Quite a while back, I posted a video on all my Scribble ink markings. You can see that on the channel here. And I had some questions about the Scribble ink marking that I call the back and forth. Essentially, it's where you're moving your pen back and forth quite a bit, whether you're lifting it off the paper or not. And I wanted to do this ink tree drawing as a demonstration for the back and forth technique, since I had interest on the channel about this particular technique. So I will be listing the pens that I use in the description box, but you can use any pen that you choose, including a fine point Sharpie that seems to work quite well. The back and forth scribble technique is really exactly how it sounds. It's where your pen is going back and forth, creating the markings. And whether or not you lift off of the pen, the page, is entirely up to you and what you're wanting to achieve. So I just simply take my pen and go back and forth, whether that be in a straight line to create an outline, or whether it be moving it along in parallel or horizontal markings that create hatching and cross hatching look. So you can see here that I've already started the edge of the tree in the deepest shadows, and I'm just using the back and forth to create that. Now, if I wanted a bit more of a hatching look, I could still move my pen back and forth, but really emphasize, let's say, the downstroke, and that would create more of a hatching, but you're still doing back and forth. And so I'm going to create this tree using the back and forth ink marking. One thing to keep in mind for yourself if you create this tree or a similar drawing is that wherever you make the scribbles closer together and even pressing the ink a little harder, you're going to create a deeper, darker value, which is your shadow. And then where you loosen up or lighten up the markings, you begin to create the highlight. So that's what you're going to be looking for. And if your hand ever gets tired, you can certainly take a break. There is no rule that says you can't lift your pen or your hand off the paper when you're doing scribble art, even though that's kind of a fun challenge for yourself. So you make sure to take care of your hand, give it a rest if it needs it. And as well, one thing I'll point out before I get going is that when you see me create these little branches, I'm not necessarily doing back and forth, but more of just tiny little gestural marks. And I do have another video on the channel where I talk about loose gestural markings. You can find that one as it's available. So I hope this shows you what is possible just using your pen and scribbling back and forth. So that's the back and forth scribble technique. Sometimes if I feel like I haven't gotten an area of the inking quite dark enough to be my darkest shadow, I will grab a larger pen to just make a few big ink markings to emphasize the shadow or a certain line. And it's not necessary, it's more of my personal preference to do this, and I try not to overdo it, but as you can see, it really makes some of those shadows pop, and I'm able to fill them in a little bit easier than if I just kept going back and forth with a thinner pen. So I hope that you enjoyed seeing that and that you'll try this in your own sketchbook. You're welcome to follow along with my reference image and give this a shot, and do comment on the channel and let me know how it goes for you and how you like to do your scribble art, what techniques you like to make markings. Thanks for being here on the channel. Bye for now, everyone.